Denmark just went full naval defense mode to counter Russia in the Baltics. The US is planting long-range missiles in Germany for the first time since the Cold War. And Venezuela and Brazil are suddenly staring down a potential border conflict. I am Mandatory Fun Day. This is Worldwide Wednesday. Here's everything you need to know in a couple minutes. Make sure you watch to the end because I'm going to break down how China is silently fueling Russia's war machine from behind the curtain. Denmark is building up their navy with some specific ships. They have approved the acquisition of 25 new naval vessels as part of its largest maritime expansion in decades. These ships are designed specifically to protect critical subsea infrastructure, including energy pipelines and internet cables in the North and Baltic Seas. The decision comes after years of suspected Russian incursions in these waters, including mysterious damage to undersea cables and pipelines near Norway and Sweden. Perhaps the Russians are finally making progress with their Mermaid initiative. In addition to the ships, Denmark is also investing in drone surveillance, underwater sensors, and autonomous maritime systems. This marks a shift in how small nations contribute to NATO defense. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's not powerful. Denmark's not trying to build a blue water navy to rival major powers. Instead, it's going after a niche but critical domain: infrastructure protection. If war ever breaks out in Europe, it might not start with bombs. It could start with someone cutting the internet. Denmark's betting that digital security is the new front line. You do not become the second happiest nation in the world by starving your citizens of the internet. Moving over to Germany, the US has announced it will deploy long-range missiles in Germany by 2026. I don't know what the big deal is with long-range missiles. I'm more of an average-range missile kind of guy myself. A historic move that includes Tomahawk cruise missiles, SM-6 interceptors, and future hypersonic weapons, which apparently is any weapon capable of traveling at or above Mach 5 and not just giving Sonic the Hedgehog cocaine. This is the first time since the Cold War that the US has positioned such systems on European soil, and it comes in response to growing concerns about Russia's own missile modernization. German and American officials have coordinated closely to select optimal basing locations that ensure both defensive and offensive capabilities. The decision is also part of NATO's broader push to improve missile defense and rapid response readiness across Europe. This isn't just about Germany, it's a message to all of Europe. With America moving long-range systems into the heart of the continent, the alliance is showing it's ready to strike deep into any adversary's territory if necessary. It also hints that arms control talks are on life support. Missile deployments like this are a reminder that we're no longer living in a post-war peace era. We're back in a high-stakes chess match. I'm putting my money on the back-to-back World War champs, USA. We're going to take a quick pause here. Don't go anywhere. Don't scroll away because I really want to tell you what's going on with Russia and China. But first, if you like the geopolitics content and you would like to support me further, you can head over to the MandatoryFunDay.com where we've got merch. We've got Live, Laugh, Toaster Bath, I Exist Out of Spite, and the I'm Gonna Be the Whole Problem. Those are our three most popular designs. We have a membership section. Members get 20% off everything, plus exclusive content like extended videos and behind the scenes stuff that, you know, we talk about things that we can't talk about here. We also have a link on the website to regulation-compliant Coyote Brown shirts. We've got them. NATO is conducting drills in the Black Sea. That sounds a little odd. Over 2,300 troops from 12 NATO nations gathered off the coast of Romania for Sea Shield 2025, one of the largest Black Sea exercises to date. Not to be confused with Sea Shield 2024, which of course was the meeting of marine biologists to enjoy LARPing, which is live-action roleplay. The operation included live-fire naval drills, amphibious landing simulations, anti-submarine warfare, and joint air-to-sea coordination. U.S., French, and Turkish aircraft participated, providing aerial reconnaissance and strike capabilities. Romanian forces led the operation, showcasing their growing role as a frontline NATO state in the region. It's the best thing Romania has done for us since gifting us Sebastian Stan, aka Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. The Black Sea has become a geopolitical pressure cooker. With Russia's increasing naval presence out of occupied Crimea, NATO needs to be able to counteract both conventional and hybrid threats. These drills aren't just symbolic, they're about refining command structures, improving logistical speed, and stress testing communications under pressure. In a future crisis, this exact interoperability could determine who wins the first 72 hours of combat. And I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat with your buddy.
Finish him.
That joke was really bad, and I'm sorry. Moving over to Venezuela. Tensions are rising fast along their border, the Venezuelan-Guyanan border, as Caracas has deployed troops, artillery, and armored vehicles to the edge of the Essequibo region. I may have said a lot of those things wrong. I'm sorry, I apologize now. Please don't judge me. I'm American. I barely even know our own geography. Venezuelan officials released revised maps claiming the entire territory despite an ongoing legal dispute at the International Court of Justice. That is not the Justice League. Okay, even though it kind of sounds like an amalgamation of superheroes from all over the world. Over the past week, satellite images have shown increased movement of military convoys and new encampments along the border. Guyana, with limited military resources, has raised the alarm and is leaning on diplomatic channels and allies for support. This is not just about geography, it's about economics and survival. Venezuela's economy is in freefall, and with major oil finds off the Guyanese coast, the regime sees this as both a strategic and financial opportunity. A border conflict would allow Maduro to rally nationalist support while disrupting regional oil markets. It's a calculated risk that could spiral quickly if not checked by neighbors or international pressure. The sheer audacity of Venezuela attempting to go onto foreign soil to tap into another country's natural resources is unfathomable as it is patriotic. Now we're talking France, the country with all the drip. France is ending its military mission in Chad, a country in Central Africa named after Lake Chad, and not a frat boy jerk. Following the country's decision to revoke its defense and security cooperation agreement, around 1,000 French troops stationed in Guyana are expected to withdraw over the coming weeks. The move follows similar exits from Mali and Burkina Faso, as anti-French sentiment grows amid accusations of neo-colonial interference. France's exit signals a broader retreat from the Sahel, where it's spent over a decade fighting Islamist insurgents under Operation Barkhane. This opens up a dangerous power vacuum. With French troops out, local governments are either left to fend for themselves or turn to new security providers like Russia's Wagner Group, which has already made inroads in Mali and the Central African Republic. France's departure is part of a broader decline of Western influence in Sahel. And however this fills that gap, be it Russia, China, or extremist groups, will reshape the region's security future. Brazil is fortifying its border in response to Venezuela's troop movements. Brazil has reinforced its northern military garrison in Boa Vista, deploying additional armored units, infantry, and surveillance equipment. Defense officials say the buildup is intended to safeguard national borders and act as a stabilizing force should the Guyana conflict escalate. Brazil has also increased air patrols in the region and coordinated with allies in the Caribbean and South America to monitor Venezuelan troop activity. Although Brazil has urged peaceful resolution, it's making it clear that it won't be caught off guard. Brazil's reaction shows how a local dispute can ripple across a continent. Imagine arguing with your neighbor, but someone calls the police and now the whole neighborhood is in your business. While Brazil prefers diplomacy, it also knows that if Venezuela crosses the line, regional stability and international investment could unravel fast. This is also a play for leadership in South America. By taking a firm stance, Brazil is showing it's not just an economic power, but a security stakeholder in the hemisphere. Hopefully this will end well. As the best Fast and Furious movie, Fast 5, with Dominic Toretto stressing the importance of family on a beach in Rio de Janeiro, with copious product placement throughout. Finally, what I told you to wait for. Let's wrap with the biggest silent player, China. NATO recently accused Beijing of being a decisive enabler of Russia's war in Ukraine, pointing to growing trade that props up Russia's defense industry. Chinese companies have reportedly shipped machine tools, semiconductors, vehicle components, and drone parts, all essential for weapons manufacturing. Much of the trade is disguised under civilian use labels, routed through intermediaries in Central Asia and the Caucasus to avoid direct sanctions. Despite Beijing's claims of neutrality, this industrial lifeline may be keeping Russia in the fight far longer than it could manage alone. This is what modern proxy support looks like. It's not about smuggling weapons, it's about keeping the supply chains open and the factories humming. China's trade with Russia has skyrocketed since sanctions were imposed, with many shipments relabeled or routed through third-party countries. This support keeps Russia resilient on the battlefield, and it makes China a key player in sustaining a prolonged war. China profiting from a war they're not involved in? Look at these communists churning the war machine like good little capitalists. Careful, be careful. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I appreciate it tremendously. I really, really do. If you have not taken a look at some of my other geopolitics videos, I believe this is number 6. Go ahead and click one of those videos. It should be on the screen at this point. Thank you all so much for watching. It's really, really exciting to be able to cover these massive moves that different countries are making, and I will see you next time.